My name is Vanessa Rauland and I'm the founder and CEO of Climate Clever, which is an edtech startup that's helping schools and the community to reduce their carbon footprint and save money on their utility bills. So climate change is often seen as one of the greatest threats to humanity. It's a massive issue that needs worldwide action. Because of all the excess greenhouse gas emissions that we're putting into the atmosphere through a variety of processes, through primarily coal-fired power stations for our energy, but also a lot of industrial processes, all our cars and food to producing meat and agriculture. We're putting out so many greenhouse gas emissions which are getting trapped in our atmosphere and warming the climate. A lot of the science and the research to date and economics to date have demonstrated that the impacts of climate change are going to be far, far worse and more costly than actually taking action now on trying to mitigate or reduce the effect of, or reduce our emissions to reduce the effect and impact of climate change. So with our initial pilot, we had 15 schools participate in that, and we demonstrated that we could reduce their carbon footprint around 10 to 20%, which was fantastic. Across those 15 schools, their total carbon footprint from electricity, gas and water, we didn't actually include waste in that first one, was 3,800 tonnes of carbon, which we reduced about 260 tonnes of that through implementing all sorts of efficiency actions in the schools. But the thing that I guess really was a big influence in my decision to sort of go down this track was the fact that by educating the kids about this in their schools, they can take that knowledge home and back into their families and into the community, and all of a sudden you can affect a much larger change. We're really excited now to be releasing a home version of the app, so those kids and the students in the schools can use that knowledge that they've gained and learn how to use the app in the school. They can then go home and use that same app in the household and ask mum and dad for utility bills, enter that all in, and then do an audit of the house, and then create an action plan on what to do. And it's been made possible because we've completely rebuilt the app, and while we have already been, we launched it nationally last year, we haven't really done a big push at all, and so now we're really excited to start to expand much more into the East Coast, where there's a lot more schools obviously, and into the other parts of Australia. I think this notion of climate grief is not documented well enough, and I think all the way down to sort of 6-year-olds, up to your sort of mid-20s, people are really worried about it, their future, and what this means for, are they going to have a future? What's the world going to look like? And if you start to go into the science, it can be quite devastating. I think across the span, there's definitely some people that, I don't know for what reason, are more engaged with it, and other people are sort of okay to sort of put it aside and keep going and living their life without acknowledging the seriousness of the issue. But I definitely think this groundswell of the youth stepping up and saying, hey, putting that very emotive, this is my future, on the table to say to some of these older generation, you need to make these decisions now in order to protect my future. I think that's really important and very encouraging and hopeful.